Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, I am excited to talk to you. Watching a little bit of Monday Night Football. Bills right now ahead of the Jaguars 34-3, giving them an absolute spanking. Whew. A little crazy. Might have to switch games because I don't like seeing this much domination from Buffalo. Boys and girls, this stream is powered by BetUS. If you want to help support the channel, head over to BetUS. Get a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. They'll match 125% on your next two deposits. If you want to head over there, take a look at some of the lines for Jets Broncos coming up this week. I'm excited. It's a Talking Jets group buy. We're going to be over there. They got the Broncos as underdogs by 7 points. I don't think that's enough. You're telling me the guy that ragged on Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers' best buddy, if there's ever a game to take the over on the points and blow out the point spread, it's this game. Aaron Rodgers is a vindictive SOB. He's going to come out and just sling it all over the place. I think the Jets are going to try and bury the Broncos 6 feet deep. So head over to BetUS if you guys think that the Jets are either going to do that. Maybe you think the Jets are not going to do that and you want to bet the opposite direction. Either way, head over there. They're going to give you a 150% bonus match on your first deposit up to $2,000. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. But oh man, I am excited to talk to you. I've had a little bit of time to digest these thoughts, all the things going on in there from this past Thursday's game. And man, was that something special. If you guys did not see it already, I linked it in the Talking Jets show with Dom that I just did over on the Talking Jets channel, but it is pinned in our live chat over here. If you click on that link that is pinned in the live chat, you're going to go to a vlog that was taken by Justin Pugh of the Jets home opener. Myself, Jake, Tyson, Primetime, Gary V, Fireman Ed, all these Jet dudes are in this vlog video. It's so much fun. Justin is such a good dude. I'd love to have him on the channel, and if we help support his channel, it's going to look really, really good. So if you click on that link, all you got to do is click subscribe, like that video, and then leave a comment on that video just saying Jets Talk sent you there. And then that'll at least show like, hey, man, maybe it's worth doing something with that Ryan character again. That was pretty cool. I have a really cool story that maybe I'll tell at some point in the future that Justin did for me personally that I think was just really, really funny. It helped out. I shouldn't say it helped out, but it was a really funny voicemail that my best friend wound up getting. Justin Pugh, even though he's a former Giant, really good dude. But I'm very much excited to chop it up with you guys. I'll give you guys some of my thoughts, give you some of the analysis / things I've been chewing on the last little bit here. We'll go into some of the Devontae Adams stuff, some of the Miami Dolphins things, what I think they're going to do with Tua and just the quarterback situation in general down there. But let's start there with the game. So first and foremost, the most complete game that I've seen the New York Jets play in a very long time. So offense, defense, special teams, it felt like we dominated from the coin flip. The first touchdown we scored, I was like, wow, I feel confident. I actually feel confident. Where is this blind sense of confidence coming from? I watched this team the first 2 weeks, and I was struggling. Like, obviously, we lost the 49ers, thought we were going to lose the Titans. It was, like, coming down to it. And now it was like, all right, like 7 sacks. Will McDonald's looking like a dog. Dude, this team is just firing on, like, I'm not even on full cylinders yet. We're like, if you have a V8, you're talking like maybe like 4 or 6 of the cylinders are firing. We got 2 more. Once Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson figure their stuff out and they start clicking, oh man, there's not going to be a defense that can stop this team. This team is absolutely loaded. I love it. I'm looking at Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. So I'm doing this fantasy league, right, with a few buddies where you draft whole teams across 6 different sports. So overall, you have 3 NFL teams. I have the Texans, the Jets, and the Raiders as my 3 teams because we want to, shifting draft picks in other directions. We got the Dodgers in the first round and whatnot. So a little squirrely. But long story short, you get to pick 2 running backs this week. So I get to choose either the Texans running back, the Jets running backs, or the Raiders running backs. And I'm taking the Jets. I'm going to play both Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. That's how confident I feel in this team. We're just seeing so many reps and touches and all these different things for those 2 guys in particular. They're scheming them open. They're having them on either side of Aaron Rodgers, which I think is should be the base formation. I want to see Garrett Wilson out on one side. I want to see Mike Williams out on the other side. I want to see Conklin in line, and then give me both running backs right next to Aaron Rodgers that provide you maximum protection and it gives you the like stressful dynamic of where could this ball be going? Are they handing it off to Breece? Are they handing it off to Braylon? Are they throwing it to either one? There's not a linebacker in this league, or not two linebackers on the same team that could cover both those guys at the same time, while also trying to shade coverage towards Garrett Wilson or prevent an over-the-top type back shoulder throw to Mike Williams. This team is in a very, very attractive spot right now, and Rodgers looks like he's reclaiming some of that pizzazz that he had early on, like a decade ago. This doesn't look like the guy we saw the last year in Green Bay. Obviously, he doesn't have the broken thumb. I think as he gets more comfortable with the players, as the team starts to gel a little bit more, the offensive line has looked fantastic. Like the running game, I would say struggled to start maybe, but then once you kind of like started moving, now he's okay. Well, Tyron Smith is looking pretty good. Yeah, Morgan Moses is knocked out for a little bit, but Olu Fashanu looks like a stud. If you guys didn't see the All 22 video that I put out of Olu Fashanu, you need to take a look at it. I don't know if there's a bad rep on that entire thing. Let me know in that comment section if there is. If there is, I don't know if I saw it. The most critical I could say of Olu was there was one play where like Rodgers rolled out to the right and his defender had like spun and maybe he sort of kind of got away from Olu but wound up not really impacting the play whatsoever. Olu looks like a stud, like a bona fide, consistent all-pro type tackle. Now he's got to continue that throughout the course of the season, but man, from a first look, very much liked it. When I saw him come on for the touchdown that Breece had, he lines up on the left-hand side just outside Tyron Smith. I'm like, oh, we're going left. We're going left. There's no way we're not going left. My buddy's sitting next to me. So you think so? I was like, look at the two tackles. We're going left. And sure as shit, Breece Hall just does his little twirly bird spin and gets into the end zone. Ugh. This was a cool game. This is a cool team. This is a fun team to root for. Feels good. Feels really good. On the defensive side, 7 sacks. Will McDonald's got 5 sacks through 3 games. If you told me Will McDonald would have 5 sacks through 3 games, I'd be like, well, with a first-round pick worked out. It doesn't suck anymore. I'll be honest. I'll be the first person to tell you. I was beside myself when we took Will McDonald. I was like, we're trying to win this year. What are we doing? Now, granted, if you told me Aaron Rodgers is going to get knocked out for the season and Bryce Huff's going to leave, then okay, fine. That's the master plan Joe Douglas had. Obviously not Aaron Rodgers going down, but it's working out. Will McDonald's showing out right now. Still a lot more to do. Still a lot of growth to happen. But man, if we start playing with leads like we saw this past week, the sky is the ceiling. Sky's the ceiling. Is that right? Sky's the ceiling. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, right? Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Awesome to watch if you're a New York Jet fan. And then as far as like Lazard not looking like he's turning back into a pumpkin, at least right now, 3 touchdowns through 3 games. Lazard looks good. He looks back to like Green Bay caliber Lazard, which means I don't feel like I have to trade for Davante Adams, but it's like Pokemon over here. I just want to catch them all. I want every single one of these weapons just load up. Give me everything you can give, because God forbid something happens. We got more dogs in the building. But I'm feeling very confident with where this team is right now. Whew. I would say if I had to be critical of something at this stage of the game, it's still early, but I do not love the wasting timeouts. There was 2 timeouts, I believe, on the first drive, maybe it was the second drive of the second half, where we burned 2 timeouts within relatively close proximity to one another, and that drove me bonkers because the game wasn't really out of hand yet. I believe it was 3-14 maybe at the time. I just didn't want to see the Jets, jet it up. I figured there was something. The other shoe's going to drop. But, feels good. Feels good. Now, of course, you had the Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers awkward kind of hug thing. I didn't make a whole lot about that. I honestly didn't even see it. I got lucky. I got to sit in the coaches club. Well, coaches club, but then also on, the 50-yard line. These are the best seats I've ever had. If you ever get an opportunity to sit in the coaches club, I highly recommend doing it. All you can eat food, all you could drink, except for it's all non-alcoholic stuff. So you can't have the alcohol. You have to pay for the alcohol rather, but that's okay. I mean, you're not paying for anything else. You can buy all the alcohol you want. I'm talking empanadas, sushi, shrimp cocktail, flatbread pizzas, all the food you see around the stadium. It was 3 times higher than that. It wasn't like your chicken fingers and your, the stuff that you get in a cafeteria at a college or something along those lines. No, it actually felt like good food. Really good seats. Very cool. I had a great time at the home opener. I had a really, really good time. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you absolutely check out the blog video that's pinned in the live chat. Tell them Jets Talk sent you. And hopefully we get some good collaboration here with one Justin Pugh. I see Big Green in the chat. Let's see. I'll go through some comments, talk to you guys. Big Green saying, great video by Pugh. Sign him for the squad, right? Yeah, we could use some interior offensive line help. Not yet, but maybe at some point. I mean, he's still in game shape, apparently, from what he's saying. He looks super thin. I did not realize he was as, I don't want to say small, but as thin as he was. He's tall. But I guess Tyron's not super, like, big either. Tyron's just like a tall guy. Harlan, what's up, dude? Duncan says Commanders Bengals game much more exciting. All right, so let's do that. I gotta turn off this Buffalo game right now. I can't sit and watch. Oh, wait a second. There's a twofer vision. Oh, no way. YouTube TV is pretty cool, but I'm just gonna put on the full Washington and Bengal game. 20-10, 2 minutes left in the half. Okay, I could roll with that. Dano, what's good, dude? New York Jets. Wow. New York Jets. 71. Hey. Jerome, remember when we wanted the Jets to tank so we could draft Trevor Lawrence? Yeah, look, now it looks more and more like the Jets should have just traded down. That whole draft class, very weird. And I don't know how much to put on Trevor Lawrence early on in his career. Like the Urban Meyer thing, I think, did stunt his growth for like a year and a half. But man, I thought he was going to take a big step this year, and through 3 games, it does not look like it. Going down to 0-2, I believe, gives you an 11% chance to make the playoffs historically. I can't imagine 0-3 is going to be better than that. You're talking probably under a 5% chance of making the playoffs if you're the Jaguars. Their season is just plummeting right now. Yeti, thanks for the content today, Ryan. Really appreciate it. Of course, Yeti. Glad you're hanging out in here. Harlan left a message. Oh, yeah, guys, let me know. If you leave a message, let me know you left a message over on the Justin Pugh video. So wherever that thing is pinned in the live chat, I have mine right here, which I don't think is where your guys, I think it's on this side. Click on that link, leave a comment saying Jets Talk sent you, and it should be pretty good. Please put that up. I want to see my boy on the big screen. Which one are you talking about? What are we talking about here? Let me know. Or are you talking about your... Oh, wait, hold on. You talking about yours? Let's see. Let me see if I can get this even bigger. There you go, Yeti. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I think that's what you're talking about. Oops. If it's not, let me know and I'll try to do something different. Oh, that's what you're saying. Yeah, new pick. Very cool. I like it. I'm a fan. Dad life. Turns out Lawrence isn't even a good quarterback, much less what the Jets wanted him to be. Yeah, look, and I don't think he would have had a whole lot of help over this. I mean, maybe he performs better in a Mike LaFleur offense and things look a little different. I'm happy with where we're at right now, though. Sean, we definitely have no shot at the East if Allen keeps playing like this. Dude, Allen is balling out. It is insane how well he's playing. But the Jets do tend to have his number, so I'm not, writing us off just yet. Boba Jet, Ryan, what do you think about the possibility of trading Reddick to Detroit? They need an edge rusher now. They have the cap space. The question is, what do you think we can get back? I don't know. Who do they have that would be of interest? I mean, I know who I like on their team as far as like, I would love to get Jameson Williams. If you could tell me you could trade me Jameson Williams, I would do that because I think he's a burner over the top that I don't think we have right now. But I don't know if that's someone that they could even realistically trade. Jameson Williams, is he in the final year of his deal? He might be. No, he's in the 3rd year of his deal. I'd have to do a little bit of research. I don't really want a draft pick for Hassan Reddick. Unless it's like a 2nd round pick next year or something like some sort of weird like thing that we shouldn't be getting for Hassan Reddick right now. I would prefer a player that can help us win more than a draft pick. So I'm fascinated. I don't know who they could trade us that is like of interest. There's some good safeties over there, but there's no one that I think they would actually move on from. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the chat. Is there someone on Detroit that might make sense for them to move over here in a trade for Hassan Reddick? I'm all about it. Michael, the good news is that we'll have the opportunity to show we're better than the Bills in a few weeks, and how much better than most teams, with games versus Minnesota and Pittsburgh too. Yeah, if the Jets start winning, I think obviously us beating Denver is not going to be like a big story. It's going to be like, oh, you know, Zach Wilson, whatever. That's he didn't come in and play. The Jets beat Bo Nix and extracted revenge. Okay, cool. They move on. You wind up beating Minnesota in London. I guess it depends how Minnesota does next week and if they kind of come back down to earth. Minnesota looks like a tough team right now. That would be a good win. I think Buffalo on Sunday night is the game that everyone's kind of keeping an eye on right now. And then after that, then you're starting to talk Pittsburgh on Sunday Night Football. We'll see where some of these teams sort of shake out as it stands in a little bit here. Yeti, rewind 2 years back. Aside from Michael Carter fandom, Rich and I have been in sync. Real fans. Rich and I have been in sync. What are you talking about? Just like in here, hanging out with us? Of course. You guys are always here. You guys, honestly, a lot of you guys have been here for a long time, and it's greatly appreciated. The relationship that we wind up making through the chat and through these little comments on screen, very fun. It's funny. I wind up meeting people that like I've never, like obviously Rich, I know because it's his name, Rich. But there's people that come, hey, I'm just gonna throw out a name here, Dick Chimney's Burner. I'm like, I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you. The username doesn't necessarily align with what the person's actual name is, but man, I have a blast with it. I really do. I wonder how Elijah anymore is doing. Yeah, screw that guy. I don't care. Dano said he left a comment. Good stuff. I like seeing that. Michael saying, let's face it, the Jaguars are horrible. The Bills are playing pretty good, but not dominant. The way the scoreboard looks, that's mostly how bad the Jaguars are. So what was the other game they played? They obviously played Miami, and they beat the snot out of them. And then they played... Who did they play last week? Or was that... Maybe that was the Dolphin game last week? My weeks are all jacked up. With the Jets playing 3 games in 11 days, I'm all over the place. Wild Wave says Jaden Daniels is him. Dude, I told you guys Jaden Daniels was my number 1 quarterback coming out this year. Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix were the 2 guys that I thought, should be drafted higher. I didn't think Penix would because of his age and the injury history, but Jaden Daniels was the one I thought should go 1 overall. I'm not a big Caleb Williams guy, but maybe, he might pan out. It's still super early. Scoob, are you going to the Broncos game? Of course I'm going to the Broncos game. It's the Talking Jets group buy. We got like 100 people rolling deep for that game. Come on, Scoob. Yeah, dude, of course we're going. I am very, very excited for that. Boys and girls, if you are going to the Bronco game, lot E26 is where we're going to be tailgating. Myself, O'Leary, Green Bean, Jeremy's coming out to the game. Dom C is going to be coming out to the game. So all of us will wind up being there. I think Tigo's not coming up from Florida. He's got the 2 kids, so he won't be there. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. Tailgate Joe puts on a great tailgate. If you want to get tickets for the Tailgate Joe tailgate, you can get them $10 cheaper over on tailgatejoe.com just because we have to pay Shopify fees and stuff like that. So we had to elevate it a little bit on ours. But if you want to go, highly recommend you going, or you don't have to get a ticket. You just can't eat or drink, there, and you just hang out with us. But yeah, definitely come out. It's going to be a good time. Looking forward to it. When you guys say him, are you referring to me? I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, you are him. You are him, Yeti. Dano said, thank God for 2 Monday Night Football games because the Jags blow. Here comes the Bills overreactors with tonight on and their Thursday Night Football. Oh, yeah, well, because they played... You're talking Thursday Night Football versus the Dolphins, yeah. Ref has money on the game. That was short. Wild Wave. Lions can use an edge since Davenport went down. Yeah, hey, look, I'm all about moving them. I just don't know how much you want to get back. Like, do you really want a draft pick? I'd rather get a player. But I guess if you're not going to move him for a player at some point, getting whatever you can isn't the worst decision to make. Dano says, if I forced to pick an NFC team, it's not even that hard. The Lions are so damn funny. Oh, I'm with you, Dano. Right now, the Lions are my NFC kind of crush. Mainly because they're like the Jets version of the NFC. They just haven't had a lot of success, and they're finally starting to turn it around right now. I have a buddy that's a really big Lions fan that I really like too. I think that helps in the whole thing. And they're just a fun team to watch. I like Campbell. I like, Hutchinson. I like Goff. I like all those guys. Scoop says, I'm in Florida going to the Jets versus Broncos game. What do you think about Olu Fashanu? I love Olu Fashanu. I did not think the Jets were going to go tackle. I thought the Jets were definitely going to go weapon, and I thought it was definitely going to be Bowers if all three wide receivers were gone. But man, is Olu paying dividends early. Morgan Moses goes down, and Olu has a lights-out game. Like, there's probably an argument for Olu just being the starting right tackle. Now, obviously, you got to see sustained play over the next few weeks. We're going to have 2 to 4 weeks of him playing in place of Morgan Moses with that sprained MCL. I very much like Olu. If you have not seen the All-22 video that I put out, take a look at it. He really looks good. Big Green wants Laporta. Yeah, that would be great. I'm willing to make that trade. Bend my arm. Palicar. I don't think the Denver game is one to overlook. No, I would not overlook the Denver game. I don't think the Jets are in a position right now where you can say, hey, we're good enough to just overlook X team, Y team, especially a team that just blew the doors off the Buccaneers. And I think the Buccaneers are a good team. So I would very much be paying attention to what they're doing. So that way you're not shooting yourself in the foot. That would suck. It would suck to lose the Bronco game. Big Will. I feel Reddick thinks he's downgrading. Also, his production might not meet a level worthy of an extension. Signed for 3 years, ruining 1, then you have 2 more years, giving you a +1. So I do think there's probably some degree of concern with Reddick, both because he has outplayed his existing contract, so he does deserve more money from that aspect. I do think that he didn't have 4 sacks, or he didn't have any sacks in the last 4 games of last year's season. So there's probably some degree of concern that maybe he is trending down. He wants to cash in before it kind of looks evident in a good defense that he's not performing up to snuff. I think that's possible. I don't know. I don't want the Jets to sign him long term. There's a little bit to me that would be all right with a 2-year deal since Jermaine popped the Achilles. I think it's going to take a year for him to come back from that, in addition to the year off that he's going to need. So I don't know if he's going to be 100% strength at all next year, Jermaine. He's young, so maybe he can bounce back, but I would be all right if the Jets decided to sign Reddick for 2 years. If it's a 2-year, $50 million deal or something along those lines, I'd love to see him come in and actually participate before we do that. I think Douglas is setting a precedent, and I don't want to necessarily break precedent, especially the way this defense has looked so far. Looked pretty good. Oh, what's up, Weed to People? Oh, dude, hold on. Weed the People. If you have not done so already, in the description, there's Jet Life THC gummies. These are only the 8 milligram ones, but they got a bad boy that's 100 milligrams, which is absolutely bonkers. So if you're looking to restock, I highly recommend it. The THC seltzers are really good. You just don't get a discount. But if you use Jet Life 30, it's my promo code, you'll get 30% off the gummies. So definitely check yourself out over there. Harlan says Jets could sign Reddick, providing there's a clause if Reddick doesn't meet certain production levels, he gives money back. I don't know if Reddick would sign that, though. I think he'd rather sit out and wait. John says Bo Nix didn't look good, didn't look half bad last week. Need to have a spy in him. Yeah, look, he's playing better than I would have given him credit for. And I think that's a credit to Sean Payton. I think it's a credit to the rest of that Broncos offense as well. I think Courtland Sutton's a good player. Curious to see how they ultimately do, I guess. What's this? Why am I not going right now? Come on, YouTube TV. All right, there we go. Now we're cooking. Yeti, given our NFL schedule and furloughed pro day and a furloughed pro day. I have no idea what today is. Monday? Dude, my days are all jacked up. 3 games in 11 days. Throwing me for a loop. Dano, how did Tailgate Joe get his nickname? He actually drives very close in traffic. That's where he got it from. Junio, Jaden putting belt on ass on Cincy. Even if Cincy comes back, I think we can write them off. Look, I don't want to write off any team right now. I don't think the Jets are good enough to be able to do that yet. We might feel that way halfway through the season once, if we start dominating some other teams on our schedule. But yeah, dude, Cincinnati does not look like the team that I think everyone thought they might be this year. Isaiah, do you want Will McDonald again as a spy for the Broncos game? I feel like I give CJ Mosley another week. Yeah, look, I don't necessarily want to put CJ Mosley out there right now anyway, because I think Sherwood's just playing better, honestly. I think Sherwood's having a really good season. If you said, hey, let's give CJ another week, let's target the London game for him to come back to, I'm all right with that. And heck, even at that point, it's like, oh, hey, we're going to take your time. We're going to slow roll you, and we'll let a little speed come in here with Sherwood. I'll have an every play from Sherwood up tomorrow, most likely. So if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel. Huff Reddick trade. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Michael, if there's a really good running back in next year's draft, the Bengals need to get him because they don't have a reliable run game if they have problems passing. Yeah, look, losing Mixon was a huge loss for them. Flat out. Big time loss. Obviously, losing Boyd, I think, is hurting them right now. I don't know is Higgins playing right now? I know Higgins was out last week. And then obviously Jamar Chase is disgruntled. So I'm not super fearful of that team, but they can get hot. Wow, Jaden Daniels with a beautiful rainbow of a throw. Telling you. Told you guys. I'll have to go back and clip it. I told you Jaden Daniels was going to be the truth. Kid's fast. Kid's got a strong arm. NY Cursor. Has anyone told Diggs as yet that he was the one holding back Josh Allen? I don't even like Josh Allen. Yeah, could you imagine if that was the reason? It was the reason Allen wasn't balling out the way he is now. Trying to force feed him. Wildwave said, I don't think Reddick is downgrading. He just wants to get paid regardless. This isn't how you go about doing it. Yeah, I completely agree. Scoob, if Reddick doesn't sign, could trade for Simmons on the Cardinals because they still need an edge rusher too. Hey, look, if we're not going to sign Reddick, I just want a player that's going to help us out. Whether it's I don't think it's going to be an additional edge rusher. I think it's going to wind up being either like a Devontae Adams at wide receiver, or maybe it's not even going to be a linebacker. I guess you'd probably, I don't know. I'm happy to get any player that can help us win this year. I would be upset if we kind of traded him for just a draft pick. So Harlan says 0 sacks the last 5 games. I knew it was at least the last 4. I don't want to do a Huff Reddick swap because I don't want to take Huff's contract and the fact we gave up a premium pick for him. Yeah, we gave a premium pick 3 years ago for Reddick. Huff's contract's really not that bad considering the signing bonus. I think he's only getting paid like $3 or $4 million against the salary cap this year. Or no, maybe it was $7. It might have been $7 million. He's averaging 17 a year, but I don't think he's ultimately going to see all of that money, especially if he's playing the way he is right now. Farouk, do we get a Mike White sighting in the Bills game? It certainly seems like it. I mean, this game's going off the rails real quick. We the people. I'll check it out. I need at least 500 milligrams. Holy smokes, dude, there's no way. That is insane. That is a lot. I consider myself a connoisseur, and if I do a 50 milligram seltzer, I'm feeling like that's the perfect, I'm cruising. It's not like a Stony Baloney, but definitely feeling good. If I did 100, smack me around. 1,500 once. That was I'd be in a coma. That is way too much. That is a lot. Jets go 19-1, baby. Damn right. Damn right. Duncan says Reddick is looking for a home golf course. Yeah, right? Retired, dude. That's what he's trying to do. We're only here because you make fun. Oh, we're only here because you make it fun to be here. Oh, Farouk, thank you. I'm glad. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I'm probably going to wind up doing some of the the live streams for the games at some point too, since I can't really do the every throw video as I traditionally do it. So maybe we'll pal around during one of the games. Maybe the London game. Nice early 9 o'clocker. Something along those lines. All right. Before I talk to you guys a little bit more, I do have to roll a little mid-roll ad. So I'll be back in about a minute and a half. Just because some of my takes may stink doesn't mean you guys have to stink. And that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. Mando reached out and said, Ryan, your team has stunk for a very long time, so we know that you understand what stinking is. And I said, yeah, absolutely. They're like, so bad, in fact, that we think we can smell you through the camera. And I was like, man, that's very aggressive. Thank you. But what do I got to do? They're like, hey, we're going to send you out some product. We want you to test it out. We want you to be honest with your audience. And then if you like it, offer up a promo code. I was like, all right, cool. So they sent me out the starter pack. I got the Mount Fuji deodorant. Really enjoy that. Put that on every day. In the summer, I've got what is known as a chafing problem, like 2 chestnuts over a roasting fire type problem. This stuff can be put on anything. Your feet, your butt crack, your grundle, your armpits, your hands, boobies, rolls, under boobies, anywhere. This stuff is totally safe. And throwing this on the chafing areas, very, very appreciated. It comes with 2 free gifts as well. I chose the bourbon leather body wash. Becca has really liked that, but I think my favorite thing in the pack is honestly the deodorant wipes. I throw this into my to-go bag and I can just freshen up no matter where I am throughout my day. And maybe I was just yelling at a camera underneath some hot lights and I just need to look a little bit nicer, smell a little bit nicer when I walk out of the cockpit here. So guys, if you want to get in on this, I've really enjoyed it. Shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk. That's shopmando.com, promo code JetsTalk is going to get you $5 off. That's a 40% off savings on their starter pack. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. All right. Bam. Now I'm in glasses. Oh, Mando, thank you so much for sponsoring the show. All right. Let's take a look. Kev says, why didn't JD add another clause limiting the draft pick? He didn't learn from Aaron Rodgers' injury. Well, I mean, he did. He said it's a second-round pick that only becomes a second-round pick if he hits 10 sacks and plays, 65% of the snaps? Not going to happen, so it winds up being a third-round pick. Curly, what's good, dude? Nice to have you in here. Bill's about to hit the over. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Ricky, losing Boyd isn't much of an issue. It definitely the run game. Oh, it's definitely the run game. Yeah, look, the run game's a big issue, but Boyd's a good blocker too. Like I don't think that's a nothing burger, especially if Higgins isn't playing. I had something funny to type, but I forgot. Go Gummies. Oh yeah, that's about right. Jets better not lose to the Jaguars. I'm flying down for that game. That'll be fun. They got a cool looking stadium. They got that pool, I think, right? That's the Jaguar stadium. Kind of neat. Dano says, any non-Reddick talk, people? Yeah, I'm down to talk about anything. I probably should have set up some slides. I have the 2-person slide thing set up for the Olu every snap and the Will McDonald every snap. But you know what? Let me see if I can do a little like kind of editing on the back end here. See if I can do that. Will this work? I'm clicking all these buttons over here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work. Let's do a single panel. All right. So let's see if this works. All right, we'll have a little Will McDonald slide going. We'll talk a little bit about that. Move this a little bit down. Bam, on the fly. So stuff gets done over here. Kev asks, if you could do a redo, would you choose JSN or Huff or Will McDonald and Corley? Huff would do better with us. I think if I, like, knowing how Rodgers' injury happened, I think it minimizes the effectiveness that JSN would have had initially. I probably would have gone more with an offensive lineman at that point. I said edge rusher at the time was not the position I wanted to go with. So I won't sugarcoat that at all. But I like Will McDonald. I think Corley's going to be good. I like the player Corley is, so it's hard to nitpick too much based on where we're sitting right now. 𝐀𝐄 Huff contract isn't that bad. Jets made up the pick they traded for Reddick when they got an extra third in 2025 from Detroit. Yeah, that's the correct way to look at it. Dano, I don't know what WTP is. Yankee Jet. Ryan, what do you think of that Belichick said today on McAfee about giving up on Darnold? So I didn't hear what Belichick had to say. Maybe I'll make a video about that tonight or something like that after I listen to it. But I would say, yeah, look, the Jets gave up on Darnold. In hindsight, we shouldn't have. We should have held on to him and did the trade down that the Dolphins accepted from the 49ers. That would have been the right play, and you just get a haul of draft picks and really restock the cupboard. I think you probably have to, take one on the chin as far as Darnold's fifth-year contract and exercise it, or you're put in a position where you have to franchise him the following year and hope that he balled out the 1 year with Mike LaFleur. I've always liked Sam Darnold. I thought he was a franchise quarterback when we were drafting him initially. He was my number one quarterback in that draft. I thought we were getting Baker Mayfield that year, but I pull for Sam. I really do. I root for him. As long as he's not playing our Jets, that's where I'm happy to root for the guy. Isaiah says, I'm thinking a trade to the Buccaneers for Trey Palmer and a 7th-round pick since they need pass rush. Man, I really should look into like players that are kind of on the block for other teams because I have not looked that really whatsoever. Ricky, why do you keep shedding light? Why do I keep shedding light that Reddick to the Raiders for Devontae? It's never going to happen. They don't need more edge rushers, especially one who wants a big deal. The Davante Adams trade will happen without him. Yeah, no, I agree. I think you don't have to trade I don't think you have to trade Hassan Reddick to get Davante Adams. I think what you could wind up having, though, is a situation where maybe the Bills want a stud wide receiver, or maybe another team wants a 1-year rental from Davante Adams where they don't need him to rework his deal and they're fine cutting him at the end of the season. I would say if all contracts are the same and we can't get rid of Reddick, I could see the Raiders saying, hey, look, after we trade Davante Adams, we're going to have $150 million in salary cap space in 2025. They may decide they want to have an edge rusher like Hassan Reddick, maybe for the next 3-4 years. He's only 30 years old. Von Miller's 34 years old, so you could definitely still get production out of edge rushers. And a good pick that the Jets would have to give up for Davante anyway. So that might be the difference in what gets a trade done. Now, if you want to send Hassan Reddick somewhere else and get a player, I'm totally fine with that. I just have no idea where else it's going to go. 𝐀𝐄 thinks I'm taking a dump. I could use my... oh, dude, you guys got to check this out. So this show's not sponsored by this yet, but I got a sponsor coming up. It's for Tushy. The bidet company reached out, and they sent me a shirt that says, ask me about my butthole, which I find absolutely hysterical. I have not worn it yet, but I need to because that is the most outrageous shirt I've ever seen. But that ad read's coming out it's got to come out in the next week. It's got to be in September. All right, what else are we talking about? Organizational malpractice, what we did to Geno and Darnold. Well, I think Geno would have balled out with us the year Fitz balled out, and it was just Geno's own stupidity that got his jaw punched in. So that was kind of annoying to see from that respect. But yeah, it does suck that that's how it all played out. Matt says, bright side of Bengals and Jags games are that it statistically thins the AFC playoff contenders. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great thing to see. The more NFC teams that can wind up beating up the AFC teams, even though from a tiebreaker perspective doesn't really matter, but from like a wins-loss perspective, big time. Duncan says, the issue with the play clock: 1, getting the play in. 2, too much pre-snap motion. 3, Rodgers audible. 4, breaking the huddle late. Is the issue with the play clock. So I think it's probably a mix of a few different things. I think Rodgers does like taking the play clock down to like the last few seconds. Anyway, 1, it does help with time of possession, unless the clock is stopped. 2, it allows him to just diagnose more about what's going on. And if you have more pre-snap motion, you're seeing different coverages and how guys align, and you might be able to make a more educated guess or educated decision on where a ball could be going post-snap by taking that much time right now. Could it be, plays coming in a little bit later? Could it be breaking the huddle late? maybe, but it seems like they get to the line with enough time, so it doesn't seem like they're rushing right there. Adirondack Fly Guy, Josh Allen having a night. Yes, he is. Kelvin, what's good, dude? How much can the Jets forfeit of the fines? And isn't there something stating he has to make it to a certain week to be fully guaranteed? So his salary was not fully guaranteed to begin with. So no matter what happens, it's not guaranteed. Now his fines, I believe the Jets could forego $3.5 million of discretionary fines, if I'm not mistaken. So you could make that move. I don't really see a reason why you would, unless he's going to actually help this team. I would be very hard pressed to make that. I don't want to help Hassan Reddick, put it that way. Not after doing what he's done. All right, we got Mike behind the scenes, so let's jump over to Mike, see how he's doing. Mike, what's good, dude?
Hey man, that was a great game. I was there too. I just want to get that foremost. That whole the entrance, the hype, the build up to running out Rodgers again. Fantastic game. I want to get that off. Greatly won. Always fun to smack the Patriots, but we got to talk about a couple things.
All right, let's go.
I think we won because of talent, not because of coaching. And
okay,
Will McDonald, 3 sacks, fantastic. They're missing their 2 starting tackles. So let's see him do it against starting linemen. Because against the 49ers, he got kind of rocked. So
I think he did against the Titans too. Even though he had 3 sacks or 2.5 sacks or whatever he had versus the Titans, I don't think he had a good outing versus the Titans either.
I agree. So one game against a really bad team. Remember, Patriots are bottom 5. So beating down a bad team, love to see it because we haven't really done it that often, but they're still a bad team. So that was like the kind of my takeaway from the game. I want to see a little bit more because we're being honest. We probably should have lost the Titans game if Will Levis was any other quarterback, but he wasn't. So that's good for us. So we're winning games. That's great. And I want to make that clear, but it's just like, we got to clean up a lot because the eye test says we're a good team, but we're not. I don't see us beating this Bills team right now. Just the way they're playing. Like, that's my big takeaway. I think we're a really good team. I think talent. I think we're going to get better as the weeks go on. But that was like takeaway was that like we need to still be better because you can't screw around with Kansas City like that and play for the field goal there with the last 2 minutes, waste 3rd and 1 conversion, burn 30 seconds, then use your timeouts. Like, that was weird. Then you play for the field goal, don't get the field goal. Say you kick the ball, they're down 14-3, and touchdown, opening drive, it's 14-10 now. It's a whole different. That's the thing that the Kansas City, Buffalo, they'll punish you for that. The Patriots weren't good enough to punish us. You got to be careful with that stuff. And then the last thing I want to say is that with the Hassan Reddick garbage, he can sit on the bench. I mean, at home. We own his rights. When he wants to come in after missing 15 games and come past game, so be it. But give him let him sit there. If he wants to come back, I don't care. If we trade him to get something back, that's fine. But don't give this guy anything. We own his rights. If he doesn't show up at all this year, we can do his whole song and dance next year for basically free. He's just losing money. He's an absolute jackwagon. But that's all I got to say about that. One last thing. It's great. Olu looked great, but I think we should consider tackle depth because the lineman who got hurt was not the one we were expecting to get hurt. And that is a little scary to think about in the future. But that's all
I just want to ask you about the tackle situation. Are you thinking like, are you bringing in a 𝐂𝐿𝐼𝐷𝐄𝐿, on the cheap?
Okay. I'm calling his line, seeing if he's just ready. I'm not saying we're signing him, but just being like, hey man, we want to be prepared because statistically speaking, it's a higher chance that Smith goes down than he stays healthy. But that's what we knew that when we made the contract. We knew that this guy can't play 17 games. We figured 10 to 12, and it's a great deal. Morgan Moses hasn't missed a game, I think, in a long time. So this is kind of a new thing for him, and this is different for us. And I have Becton fears because when they say 2 to 4 weeks, I'm thinking 6 weeks. Way worse, just from what happened in the past. But again, that's just me panicking because I'm a Jets fan. And I always expect the worst when it's not that bad.
Mike, I understand it. Thank you so much for the call, dude. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I keep forgetting I got that timer. I got to use the timer. Boys and girls, It's always fun to talk to you. If you want to call in, the Nightbot is dropping it in the chat, so feel free to scroll up in the live chat, click on that link, and you can join the show. I'll go over to you. I'm going to do this for about 9 more minutes. I'm going to do a little 1-hour stream here. I'm getting hot under these lights. It's 2 hours. Get stinky. I got to go use some Mando. Let's see. 𝐀𝐿, Darnold next 3 seasons after the trade were crap. This is saying the Jets should have kept Geno. Yeah, I agree. I think JD wanted Sewell, but his buddy Rex Hogan convinced him Zach was the guy. You could tell that Saleh didn't want him either. Yeah, I think Woody definitely had a little bit of a hand in there, but I think so did LaFleur. I think LaFleur probably wanted him from a visual perspective too. Hey, look, sometimes you don't get it right. Is what it is. Sucks. Ricky says the Raiders aren't going to spend a third of their cap on 3 defensive linemen. Bro, what? Yeah, no. It's more if it's a throw-in. But also, what are they going to spend their money on, right? Like, if they have $150 million in salary cap space, they got to attract talent from across the board. And how many free agents? Like, even if you say they're going to get the top 3 free agents in every, like, in the positions of need. I don't even know what free agents are available, but they still need a quarterback. So as long as they don't have a quarterback, you know, it's not a bad idea to just build up the roster in general. Realistically, Reddick's going to be gone in 2 years anyway, and maybe that's them, you know. I think it's going to be 2 years. I don't know. Do they need Reddick? Probably not. But I think they had Max Crosby. I think even though we don't have someone that's on the same level as Crosby, I don't think we were weak at edge rusher necessarily, that we needed him either. 𝐀𝐿, I don't know anyone. I don't know how anyone would have loved the Zach pick. I personally wanted to keep them to keep Sam and build the line. That was a Woody move. Yeah, well, it was also resetting the contract, right? That was the other part of this whole equation where Darnold's contract was coming up and you had to decide on a $25 million 5th-year option when he did not look good for a substantial bit of time there. I wish we had Sam during the time we had Zach. I wish we could have flip-flopped those 2 contracts because I do think Sam was a good player stuck on a bad team. We just had the opportunity to reset the clock with someone who I think most people can look out and say, look, Zach's just an athletic freak. He's just a bad quarterback. And look, the COVID year, I think, threw people off. We the People says, I have that shirt, but I never owned a bidet. That's my first bidet. It's my first bidet. Honestly, kind of like it. And by kind of like it, I mean, it's not going anywhere. Very much liked it. Vladdy P, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for the super chat. Says, great. Now the Bills fans think they have the best team because they beat 3 trash teams. Can't wait till they get punched in the mouth. Hey, look, you know what? Let's let them keep talking their smack. Let's dial our narrative back a little bit. And play the underdog. Play the underdog route. Because we haven't really beaten any. The Titans aren't a great team. Patriots aren't a great team. So we don't have a whole lot on our side either. And the Bills are looking really impressive. So it's a little frustrating, but I think we'll be all right. All right, let's go over to Ricky. What's up, Ricky? How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, Ryan? I wanted to call in. I was listening, and while I agree, we do more. I think that what we've seen with the Jets so far, because I admit I caught myself being a little bit down with some of the penalties early in the game.
Sure.
But really looking at it, dude, a lot of teams are starting slow. The first been great across the entire league.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a product of the starters not really season, but we've seen progress, through each game. It's gotten better. And the Patriots game, everything kind of clicked and came together. And yes, I understand that they're a bad team. But as I was watching the Patriots game, and I saw a tweet that Matt O'Leary put out that's about wasting our health.
I didn't get to see what the tweet was.
Matt, he's a great guy. It just said we have to clean this up or something back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is the thing. I get it, but serve your timeouts like when you need them to like come back. When you're beating a team 1-3 going into the fourth quarter, and that team doesn't look like they've got any kind of a pulse, you don't have to worry about conserving your outs. That's an overreaction. We have to worry about that. And, you know, uh, we're not that team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think as fans, it was nice to be playing with a lead. I think as used to that, oh boy, could I get used to it. I
Yeah, dude.
mean,
I mean, I hear
we
you're
don't
right
want
on
this.
with the timeouts. When you have a close game, like you can't waste those timeouts the way you did. If you're going against Buffalo or something like that, like they will punish you for those types of mistakes.
Absolutely. However, like Buffalo or Kansas City would punish you well, we beat Buffalo with Zach Wilson at that.
Mm-hmm.
We should have beat Kansas City
Mm-hmm.
if the refs didn't Taylor Swift a favor, call that
Mm-hmm.
hold on Jermaine. So
100%.
uh, I don't, and that was with crap quarterback play. It's never seen quarterback play like that for the Jets, like I saw last week ever.
Felt good. Felt really
And
good. Dude, him just rolling out and hitting Conklin for like
yeah,
20 yards.
and that was, and I was so happy to see Conklin go off.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people seem to doubt him, or they think he's just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Conklin was a real good tight end in Minnesota with pretty good quarterback play. I think we're going to see a completely different Tyler with Aaron throwing him the ball, and I can't wait. Like I think he's going to have a huge year. I think he'll easily finish as like a top 5 or 6. But yeah, man, I mean, we don't want this to be the same old team. Well, they can't go around acting like the same old fans.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's hard to have faith because we've been burned so many times before, but this is different. It feels different. Like as that Patriots game was going on and as it progressed, like I was thinking like, man, like I haven't felt like this like since back in the Curtis and Vinny days where
Mm-hmm.
like I was confident we could score points and I was confident, like we've got a good offense. And I mean, and we've had some okay ones here and there, but not where you go into the game expecting to win. And when I first became a Jets fan, like, that was that Curtis and Vinny era where like I
Mm-hmm.
went into every Sunday thinking we were going to win.
Hell yeah.
And so my fandom kind of started out like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't wait to get back to that, going into each and every Sunday thinking that, we're going to win. And
Yeah, and we're thinking we even got a
yeah,
shot. Like
I think that
it
might
it
just be where we're
it felt good because honestly, that's when my fanhood started too. I was like in that 95 is when I first started remembering games, and I would say 98 was like we started going to games 95, 96, and then Wayne Corbett, Curtis Martin. Those are my first memories of like really watching the Jets and feeling confident. Now maybe some of that's being like a younger kid, just like, oh yeah, no, I think we should totally win every game. Even if we stink, it's it is what it is. But I agree. I think there's a confidence that comes with Aaron Rodgers and a confidence the way we got to see him perform this past weekend. Ricky, I'm going to hop off. Thank you so much for the call in. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Ricky, always a pleasure talking to you. One last super chat. We got 𝐀𝐄 Rodgers and Jets playing just the tip for the first 3 games. Yeah, hey, look, I want full shaft. Just I don't care. Call me what you will. I want it all. Oh, jeez. That's going to get clipped. That's okay. I forgive it. And that's fine. All right, boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun talking with you guys. If you have not heard, head over. Let's see, is it this one? Nope. Let's try that again. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to log in to my BetUS account because I did not. I wish it didn't log you out. I was not prepared to close the ad read and do it that way. Kev says, I propose you do a Mets stream too. Early on in the channel, I had kind of considered doing like a Jets talk, Mets talk, Knicks talk kind of channel, but I don't have enough time to watch that many games, and I don't have enough mental bandwidth to be able to do that. So I just the thought was there at one point, but never actually came to fruition. All right. This stream was powered by BetUS. Get 150% bonus match on your first deposit up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. You'll get 125% bonus match on your next two deposits as well. If you want to check out the Jets-Broncos game, Jets minus 310 on the money line. So clearly favorites by 7 points. I think the Jets are going to put a mollywhopping on the Broncos. I would 7 points is a lot, but I would take those points because I think Aaron Rodgers is one vindictive SOB, and he's going to want to stick it to Sean Payton and the Broncos after him talking shit about our offensive coordinator and his good buddy Nathaniel Hackett. As far as the over-under total game points, 38.5, that is an easy over for me. If you want to say my favorite bet of these three right here, it's easily the over. I think the Jets are going to absolutely smoke the Broncos. So boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. I'll be here tomorrow. Well, not on this channel. I'll be over on the Talking Jets channel tomorrow, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock with O'Leary and Green Bean. If you guys haven't gotten in on the giveaway, the pinned comment in the live chat, all you have to do is click. One, I think you should take a look at that video anyway. It's the Justin Pugh video vlog with myself and Jake and Fireman Ed and Tyson and all those guys in primetime. Head over there. I know Gary V's in it too. Click on it. Just say Jets Talk sent you there. As long as I see Jets Talk sent you there, I think you should subscribe and like it as well. But hit the leave a Jets Talk sent you there as a comment. It'll show Justin Pugh that, man, that Jets Talk guy's worth doing something with. And then secondly, you'll get entered into winning a cockpit t-shirt. So I'll send that out to someone. We're going to give people a week to do it. So I'll do it next week this time. So boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. This is Jets Talk signing off. JETS.